Very good morning, children. Welcome to today's English language class. Let's begin today's new concept. Children, in the previous class, we have learned adjectives. What is adjective? Yes, it's nothing but describing word. So, we are going to learn the same concept of adjective with little more and further information. Let us see what is it. Degrees of comparison. Children, usually when we describe few things, we start comparing who is better, who is best. We start comparing things. So, these adjectives are used to compare things, compare noun. So, in today's class, we are going to learn what is this degrees of comparison. What are the types of degrees of comparison? How to change the adjective according to the degrees of comparison. These are the things we are going to learn in today's class. Let us get into the class. Degrees of comparison are used when we describe a person or a thing. When we want to describe a person or a thing, in total, if you want to describe any noun, we use this degrees of comparison. Degree. Who is better? Who is best? Degrees of comparison. We compare the things to know who is better and who is best. What is better and what is best. So, these adjectives make the comparison. For example, there is a girl. We say, the girl is so beautiful. The girl is so beautiful. Now, we have two girls. We want to compare these two. Who is beautiful and who is more beautiful. Now, we have a group of girls. Among these girls, we want to select a best who is most beautiful. So, there is a level, there is a degrees of comparison. So, these adjectives are helping a lot in this comparison. Let us see what are the different types of comparison. Remember, adjectives are describing words. We know adjectives are describing words. When we are talking about only one noun, when we are describing only one person or a thing, we use positive degree. For example, she is fast. The train is fast. She is slow. It is big. It is small. So when we talk about only one thing or one noun, we use the positive degree. We use positive degree. Here there is no comparison. Because we describe only one thing or one person. That is called positive degree. So children, when it comes to degrees of comparison, we have 3 degrees. First one is positive degree, second one is comparative degree, third one is superlative degree. So, when it comes to positive degree, we speak about only one noun. There we won't make any comparison. That is called positive degree. So, positive comparison, it is used when we only describe one person or one thing. When we describe any one person or any one thing, we use this positive comparison or positive degree. Positive comparison is nothing but positive degree. This is the first type of degrees of comparison. For example, the house is big. Here no comparison. We are talking about that house. We are telling that it is big. The boy is fast on his bicycle. The boy is fast on his bicycle. Here fast is a describing word, but we are not comparing anybody here. We are talking only about that boy. The girl is smart. That girl is smart. Smart. It's a positive degree because there is no comparison. We are talking about only one girl. So it's a positive degree. The radio was loud. We are talking about radio. There is no other comparison. So the loud is a Positive degree. Degrees of comparison, in that the second point is comparative degree. Comparative degree. The word itself says we are comparing. We are comparing. This is when we compare two people or things with each other. When there are two people or when there are two things, we are telling who is better, which is better, which is more and which is less. This is called comparative degree. How to frame comparative degree adjectives? How to frame comparative degree words? Let us see. There is a rule to make comparative degrees of adjective. We have to add ER to the adjective. You know, the fast, slow, big, small and tall. These are all the adjectives. For these adjectives, if you add the letters ER, it becomes comparative degree. She is faster than her. He is slower than him. That is bigger than this. This is smaller than that. So, we compare two things, we use ER words, ER adjectives. If you add ER to the adjective, it becomes comparative degree. Please keep this in your mind. When we compare two things, we use ER word. Faster than, slower than, bigger than, smaller than, taller than, larger than. This is comparative degree. But in some exceptional cases, for example, you can say that in the positive degree I told this house is big. But here two houses are there. Two houses are there, so we are comparing now. The house is big, but my house is bigger. That house is big, but my house is bigger. For the word big, we added ER, but sometimes for few words, the last letter it becomes double. We will double the last letter and add ER. In some cases, the boy is fast on his bicycle, but I am faster. He is fast, but I am faster, comparing, faster than him. You can see that for the word fast, adjective fast, we have added ER. It became now comparative degree. The radio was loud, but the TV was louder. There in the positive degree, there was only radio. Now we have added TV also. We are comparing these two things. It was loud. It was a positive degree. When it comes to comparative degree, we have to add ER to the loud, so it becomes louder. Louder is a comparative degree. The word, the adjective which ends with ER followed by than. After writing ER, compulsorily you have to write than, THAN, than. So bigger than, smaller than, taller than, louder than. So that is called comparative degree. But some exceptional cases are there. You won't have ER, you won't add ER and make it pain, not like that. When it is painful, you'll say more painful, more painful. Hopeful, more hopeful. Beautiful, more beautiful. You will not say beautifuler, gooder, no. We'll say more beautiful. Expensive, more expensive. Adjectives ending in full, whichever the word ends with FUL or E, then we use more. If the adjective ends with FUL or E, we will not add ER and make it comparative degree. We add MORE, more, before the adjective, so that it becomes comparative degree. It becomes comparative degree only when we compare two nouns. Some exceptional cases are there to this rule. Here say good, better, bad, worse, many or much, more, little or few, less, far, farther, further, old, older, elder. So here we are not adding any ER or we are not adding any more before the adjective. We are changing the word completely. When we talk about only one noun, we will say good. But you are comparing with two things, we will not say gooder or you will not say more good. You will say better. You will say better. When it is bad, when you compare with the other person, you will not say better or you will not say more bad. You will say worse. Same way, these are the exceptional case always you should keep in your mind. First thing I told, when we compare two things, it is called comparative degree. When you are comparing two things, you have to add er to the adjectives. But the word which ends with ful and the word which ends with e, we are not going to add er. Before the adjective, we are going to write more, more. So it will become more beautiful, more hopeful, more expansive, like this. But some exceptional cases, the word it will change. How? Good it becomes better, bad becomes worse, many or much will become more, little or few becomes less, far becomes farther, old becomes older or elder, like this. Some exceptional cases are there where we will change the word completely. This is about the comparative degree. Next is superlative degree. Very simple. When we were in the comparative degree, I told you we are comparing only two things. But in the superlative degree, it is used when we compare more than two things or more than two people or a group of people. When we are comparing, we use the superlative degree. Children, about only one noun you are talking, it's positive degree. When you are talking about when you are talking about two people or two person or two things, it is comparative degree. At the same time, when you are comparing more than two things or two people, it is superlative degree. Now let us know how to frame superlative degrees of adjectives. In the comparative degree, we used to add er to the adjective. Here we are going to add est to the adjective. Fast becomes fastest, slow becomes slowest, big becomes biggest, small becomes smallest, tall becomes tallest. So we are adding everywhere est. In the comparative degree, we used to add er. In the superlative degree, we are adding est. Same way, you can see here, he was the faster in the bicycle race. There are many people in the bicycle race. He was the fastest. When it is est word, we should understand it is superlative degree and there are more than two people. Then only we use the superlative degree of adjectives. So fastest, the fastest. She was the smartest girl in the class. You know, in the class there will be many girls. Among all the girls, she is the smartest. The biggest house on the block was for sale. Biggest. Slowest computer in the class belonged to Miss Brockway. Superman was the strongest and fastest of all the superheroes, but Spider-Man was the most flexible. We used here most flexible. Why? I told you before only in the degrees of in the comparative degrees, I told if the word ending with ful or if the word ending with e, you can say flexible, last letter is e. We are not going to add est or er. We are going to write more in the comparative degree, most in the superlative degree. You can see here. See, painful. In the comparative degree, I told you as the word ending with ful, you are not supposed to add er or est. You are going to add more in the comparative degree, most in the superlative degree. Hopeful, more hopeful, most hopeful. Beautiful, more beautiful, most beautiful. Flexible, more flexible, most flexible. So you should keep in your mind, children, whichever the adjectives are ending with ful, re or e, you have to write most before the adjective. Most before the adjective. In the comparative degree, you should write more. In the superlative degree, you should write most. Please pay attention when I speak or explain about the rule of any concept. Some exceptional case, how we saw in comparative degree, good becomes better. We are not writing gooder or badder like that. Same way in the superlative degree also some exceptional rule is there. To the rule there is exceptional cases are there. Good, in the comparative degree it will become better, but in the superlative degree it becomes best. She is the best girl in the class. Bad, worse, worst. Many or much, we'll say more, most. Little or few is there, you will say less or least. So completely the word will change. Good, better, best. Bad, worse, worst. So the complete word it will change. We are not going to add any ER, we are not going to add any EST, or we are not going to write more or most before the word. Instead of that, we are going to change the word completely. So thank you children. I hope all of you have understood the concept of degrees of comparison. We have 3 degrees of comparison. One is positive degree, another one is comparative degree, the third one is superlative degree. Positive degree, we are not comparing anything, we are talking about only one thing or one noun. The comparative degree, we are going to compare 2 things, and we end the comparative degrees of adjectives with ER, or if it is ending with FUL or E, we write more. Same way, superlative degree is nothing but it is used when we compare more than 2 things. So it ends with EST. It ends with EST. If the adjective ends with FUL or E, we write most. And some exceptional cases, we change the complete word itself. So children, you know adjectives are describing words, but when we describe any noun, we make comparisons. So there are 3 types of comparison which we have learned in today's class. I hope you are all very clear about the concept. After listening to the recorded class, it is your duty to go through the textbook and solve all the exercises and be ready for the discussion class in the coming period. Thank you children. Have a nice day.